for coming, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank WWF Goa for conducting such important sessions on important topics. So today we are gathered here to talk about the topic of where have the flowers gone from our plateaus. So plateaus, as we know, are the plain areas on top of a hill, but many a times they are considered as barren lands, and many of our even politicians term them as barren lands. But are they really barren? That's what we are here to find out. Also, when we think of Goa, the first image comes to our mind is of our vibrant beaches or very pristine forests and waterfalls. But we never think of plateaus as an ecosystem in itself. But they are very diverse, and according to experts, they are more diverse than a forest in terms of microhabitats, which we will explore further because it is a area full of wild grasses, plants, which are also endemic in nature, many flowering plants. But what happens, they flower only 4 months in a year, and 8 months in a year they look barren. When I say look barren, they actually only look barren, but they are not. They are water reservoirs because they are full of lateritic stone, which absorbs a lot of rainwater, which recharges our groundwater, which gives us water in the end. So I believe they are directly impacting our lives. But what happened because of this perception they are barren? Many of our construction projects are happening on plateaus, like the industrial areas, like industrial projects, like the Verna plateau, or the housing projects, like the Kadampa plateau, or the recently constructed airport, like the Mopa airport, which is one of the biggest plateaus of Goa. Experts believe that there were around 40 streams there on this plateau. Now it has all gone, and villages down the Mopa are already suffering because of water shortage. So this is the aspect of ecological plateaus. We will explore this further with our experts here. So my question to both of these experts here, like what are the initial memories when you think of a plateau, maybe some childhood memories, and why we think that plateaus are important? Starting with Miguel.
Plateaus were not something that we considered as something different from the place where we lived. I grew up in Mapsa, a place called Lateritic, so originally a Devrai of the local temple. And beyond that is Pede, Grand Pede, Karaswada, Kolwal, and even Kamuli is almost one plateau. It's like difference of levels are there, but it's almost one plateau. And what struck me as a child was that this is the place where you went at Ganpati time to collect various kinds of flowers from the mother. Like Senesio, Bombensis that we call Harne. Something that is in everybody's memory, the yellow flowers, which are there being used, and especially when you have this fair selling all the things now. Earlier there were no fairs, you had to go and pick up. So you see this golden yellow flowers and they hold your attention. So these were things that we knew where they used to go to Paris to play football, even in the rains. And when our neighbors, I grew up in a locality which is 4 Catholic houses, all remaining Hindus. So when they wanted flowers, we knew where they were. So with my friends, I would go pick up and give. So when we look at our own tradition and culture, they have included this harne in the Matoli. That means you have to preserve these areas where they grew. No one told you that plateaus are important and this is there and that is there. No data, no geography, no physics, nothing. No town and country planners. But they knew this had to be protected. So that is my memory as a child. And as I grew up, I saw first the Mapsa Industrial Estate come. Then what is called the TV Industrial Estate, basically Karaswada. The plateau is going off and everyone said, "Kya happened? Barren land, Kadpa Hamika." We used to go, I know it is Karaswada, we used to go to one place called Gotmitsawa. The water from this plateau, the surface water would gather into that stream. Gotmitsawa, we used to take all the vehicles to wash over there, whether it was buses or trucks or your personal cars, they were all taken to wash there during the monsoon because this flow was there and it was hard rock. So your car or bus wouldn't get stuck. So you take it there. And you would see the whole plateau bloom in August, especially August, September, and then you knew exactly what kind of plants were there. So those are my memories as a child. Putting Sawal, Paddock, basically went to, along with the cars being washed, or went to play football or cricket. But these are the things that I remember from there.
So, moment she asked question, first thing I thought what I'll answer, first thing came to mind is a treat of food, a treat of lot of different types of fruits, kanda, chivra, chara, chunna. We had line of them, which was we were there was a playing ground on this Lateritic plateau. We call it a coco ground. One more was there, little big cricket ground, but we went to it was cut down by the railway track laying later on. But around the ground we never felt. We came morning and then we came go in the evening. Go only in the afternoon, back for lunch, and in between all snacks were from the forest. And then that's how I got introduced to plateaus. Okay, so many different plants, anna, kadera, many of them you will know. There is one goshta, which is a climb wall, like faintly those fruits will be there. And then when I grew up and I eventually took botany and came to botany, it was not difficult for me to connect with the plants because I was already knowing this plant. It was only knowing the botanical name and classification later on. And then that time, as so said, we will not even in today those villages which are pristine, people have deep connect with the forest. They know each and every plant. They know in their they will be going only to pull cashew on those scattered. On the slopes, you will be more cashew plant, but on the plateau, you will have scattered cashew plantation where they will be going, and they know where rabbit live, where are the porcupines, where they go in particular August season to pick termite, mushroom, tomatomyces, wormy. So they have a deep connect with the land in the village, and even I'm fortunate being born. My brother is here who shared all the experience with me during that time, and we had a deep connect with the nature. That's how I feel my connect with the plateaus.
So, what do you think that why we need to conserve these plateaus? As I mentioned now, a lot of construction is happening on plateaus and we don't realize all this well. So, according to the botanist, when you look at it, why we need to conserve plateaus?
Conserve, we need to conserve which is getting lost. Why conserve? First of all, word comes because it is getting lost. We feel this is getting lost. Tomorrow, okay, the modern culture is also getting lost. We will think, okay, this also needs to be conserved. We need to conserve it to protect it from getting lost. So, lateritic plateaus is one of the habitat which requires protection. Forest in Goa Forest Department is considerably doing good work. Okay. They have protected. We have a lineup of sanctuaries thanks to declaration of two new sanctuaries in recent past. We have a continuous line of sanctuaries wherein different types of forests are protected. Still, they more need to be protected, but from the lower hills. But if you see lower foothills of Goa, we have this lateritic plateaus. Or in Kokani, आम्ही त्यांचा सडा मराठी word किंवा कोकणी पठार असे म्हणतात. नाले तळप साऊथ गोवा तळप असे म्हणतात किंवा मळ उसगाडी मळ असा म्हणजे जे पेट्रोक्लिप्स मेळटा आणि मळ हो वर्ड तुमकां मेळटलो त्या सायड रिवणा सायडीन नाल्यार मळ असे म्हणटात. सगळीच मळ ग्रासलँड बी आसपाक शकता पूण जांभळ्या दगडाचे टॉप असता जांभळ्या लॅटरायटिक दगड ताजो टॉप असता जो पोरस असता आणि तो सपाट असना जागा अनइवन असता आणि तातून जेन्ना हांव फुडें शिकलो तातून कळ्ळें की म्हाका खुबशे बायोडायवर्सिटी रिच एरियाज थंय आसा. तातून इट इज नॉट प्लेन ग्रासलँड आसता तातून पडल्स असता क्रिवायसीस असता रॉक क्रिवायसीस. So one of the study तातून 26 different मायक्रो हॅबिटेट्स where प्रत्येक झाडाक एक निश लागता. Niche is a place where it lives and able to complete its life cycle. कमळाचे झाड एका तळ्यात येतले because it's able to complete. It will not come in flowing water because it's not able to complete. So niche. So असे जेन्ना असे uneven places असतात, थंय कडक्स जाता, थंय क्रिवायसिस असता, खंय मातशी माती असता. सो वेगळ्या वेगळ्या तरेचे वनस्पती थंय वेगळ्या वेगळ्या कडेन उगवता आणि in finding, okay, I'm representing work of Dr. M.K. Janardhanam, Dr. S.R. Yadav, who has done considerable work in Goa University. Dr. S.R. Yadav moved to Kolhapur University later, and one of the is a Janki Ambal Award, the highest award by Ministry of Environment Forest. They were not alone. I was fortunate to be part of that team. खुबशे researchers त्यांनी त्यांच्याकडे PhD केल्या आणि research केले. So the research over decades by Goa University or various other institutes, there are other institutes shown that they are high in endemism. Endemic species म्हणजे कितेची त्याच भागात त्याच वाठारांत मेळटा. जसे की थोडे स्पीसीज फक्त गोंयांत मेळटा, थोडे स्पीसीज फक्त वेस्टर्न घाट रिजनांत मेळटा. ताका आमी वेस्टर्न एंडेमिक टू वेस्टर्न घाट म्हणटा. सो एंडेमिक स्पीसीज ज्यो तांकां हायेस्ट प्रायोरिटी दिल्ली आसा कन्झर्वेशनाक. कित्याक म्हळ्यार त्यो हांगाच्यान ना जाल्यार सगळ्या जगा वयल्यान ना, कित्याक म्हळ्यार त्यो जग सगळ्या जगाक पयस ना आनी त्यो आमचे बायोडायवर्सिटी हेरिटेज ते एक आमचे आमी जशी कोंकणीन म्हणटा दायज आमकां एक मेळिल्ली देणगी आसा देवान म्हणचे परस नेचरान तयार करून दिल्ली देणगी आसा. एक लॅटरायटीक प्लेट्यू ही आमकां तयार करून दिल्ली देणगी आसा नेचरान, जी आमकां फुडाराक केन्नाय उपयोगी पडपाक शकता. झाडां वेळा आतां आमकां लॅटरायटीक प्लेट्यूज आमी थोडेशेच यूज करता, ग्रास यूज जाता, थोडेशे मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स, पण फुडाराक ताजे इट इज फॉर पॉस्टेरिटी. कन्झर्वेशन आमी म्हणटा तेन्ना सगळे जाणां म्हणटा कन्झर्व करून फायदो कितें. आमकां मेळ्ळात ते आमकां फुडें दिवपाची ही आमची जबाबदारी आनी आमकां आतां फायदो आसाच. आमकां करंट जनरेशन एक ट्रेंड गोंयांत आसा, गांवांतल्यान लोक शहरांत आयले, हांवूय आयलो, पूण नेक्स्ट जनरेशन आमी पळोवपाक गेले जाल्यार परते वचून गोंयांत परत हांव पळयता की लोक शेती करपाक लागल्या, वेजिटेबल कल्टिवेशन, गार्डनिंग competition I'm associated with Miguel. Kind of enthusiasm आम्ही लोकांच्या मदीं पळयत जाल्यार तो वाडत आसा आनी लोकांक इल इफेक्ट्स कळत आसा. एक जे अर्बनायझेशन रस्ते आशिल्ले ते आतांच आमकां अशें दिसपाक लागलां आनी कितले जनरेशनाच्या नंतर कितें जातलें. आनी जर आमी असले जे जागे जे नॅचरली ब्युटिफूल आशिल्ले आनी बायोडायवर्सिटी आशिल्ले ते ना करून उडयले जाल्यार आमी तांच्या खातीर जे नेचरान दिल्ले ते ना करून उडयले. सो कन्झर्वेशन ताच्या खातीरच आमकां करपाक जाय की आमचे कडेन आमकां जें कितें मेळिल्लें तें आमी फुडें
Neither part you think they are important.
आमच्या मनान खूबदां आसता की this plateau is a tabletop like this, completely flat. It is not, as Ashish also had mentioned, it is up and down. There will be cracks, there will be ravines, there will be valleys in that little bit, and ponds. And in this, different kinds of plants grow. This is one. The other part, it is coming to a head now, especially we have started talking about the chapter Mopaya. Mopaya port is also taken the Mopa plateau. Now, what was earlier a laterite exposed area with all these plants which you say are almost non-existent, it is barren, but they all played a role in getting water into the rock and from that rock to the wells in the villages around, whether it's Mopa, Kachi Mopa, Ozri, across. The water in the wells never dried. Over the last 3 years, Mopa Airport, for the airport you need a runway and you need a tarmac. Concreted. So water cannot enter. water flows from top. You would have seen many videos of how the roads were flooded, how the excess highway itself was underwater. This water is not going down, so it's going out. So it's gone through all the gutters and excess. They have put pipes also for the drainage, and the water has gone out. Now there is no water in that rock. You will hear about them of water shortage in the month of February, March. Just another month to go. Water shortages in those areas will come because the tap water system isn't very good in those areas because they had wells. The PWD water supply is not so great, and the village water supply, which is good in our suburban villages, isn't great if you go to Kachimapa, for example. There is no pipe water. In Osiri, little bit is there. But in those areas, there will be water shortages because there is no water in the rock. So you have a wet sponge, which you can squeeze and get water out. And you have a dry sponge, which however much you may squeeze, you can't get a drop of water out from it. So that's the position. Now, this vegetation that our forefathers put into the Matoli and put into our traditions is so that we preserve those areas. Water is there, and water is life. It's amazing. The other part that we often don't think of, even I did not think of it till I met Dr. Torne in 1991, that plants live in associations. Not like Rotary Club and Lions Club and youth hostels, but associations like marriage, of getting married into a village. You get married into the village, you live there. Your generations grow over there. Not only the daughter-in-law, we have also the Darjamai, the Garsami thing also. So there is an association with that area. Plants don't walk about like we do. So the plants association is a permanent association. So they are in that area. Botanically and technically we call it endemic. They are in that village and you can't find them in the other village. Like my surname, if you look at Braganza, you will find in Vapsa, you will find in Majarda, you will find in Chandor, you won't find, other than this thing, Santa Cruz, you won't find Braganza anywhere else. So also, if you are looking at Dipkadi, you will not find it all the plateaus. It is a plateau plant, but restricted to certain plateaus. Kavana, if you go, you will find it. Or you may find it in a few other plateaus, but other plateaus, all over the world, plateaus are there, you will not find it. So that we call it endemic over there. So that association with Goa is fixed.
They have a sister also in Prabhugaonkar.
Sister.
So
But you don't find-
Ashish discovered that species. Which year was this?
2008.
Yeah. So
2009.
can you tell like how you went on discovering this species? It's on a Kavana plateau in Tepe.
Yeah, just after Riona is
I think
not
most people will be familiar with Zambauli.
Zambauli.
Ah.
Zambauli is the closest village.
Riona. And after that, in fact, that place is totally destroyed last season because of they have made a football ground on that place. And then there are only population is reduced to almost 1/4 of this plant. This thing. And then our efforts to we had a meeting with the village panchayat and tried to tell them, okay, really tell much because there's so much of land, there's pressure on the land today. They want to this thing, but they're not understanding. If this species is what was fortunately it has been found one or two more plateaus now. But if it is
In
lost
Goa?
in Goa, yeah. But if it is lost from these 2-3 plateaus, it is lost from the face of the world. And
So it is highly endemic.
highly endemic. Yeah, but at present, at least, because it's not yet discovered, and this is one species which will not go unnoticed on other places. So I feel at least last like 20 years it was not found. Prabhugaonkar, another sister species. When I saw the plant, I initially wanted to put it in Prabhugaonkar only because Prabhugaonkar has the flower tube almost like 5 centimeter, 6 centimeter. This one is 1.5 centimeter. But rest of the features, there are minor differences that are there. But this was the major differences. But when I met one of the ecologists, he said a moth to pollinate the flower of 3 centimeter length will be different than 1.5 centimeter length will be different. So this is of any variation in people and showing it again and again in that area, there should appear new species. So basis of that we published new species, and now we found thriving population in few more areas in South Goa itself. There are no report in
So it is endemic to South Goa.
endemic at present at least. Yeah, there is one report, unconfirmed report in somewhere in Satari, but not confirmed. But only at present, only in Goa we can say this species, Dipkadi Goans, and this is not alone. Okay, there are tens of different species published. This is Utricularia. There are a lot of species. Utricularia malvarica, which is endemic. There are aerocolons, white buttons you will see. Round white buttons you will see. There are at least you will see them almost similar size, varies from a feet to this thing. But the species, if you see, there are at least 20 species असतात त्याच्यावर आणि there is a auriculum goans published, and then like this grass ischemum is one grass group, glyphocloa, ceropegia का कंदील पुष्प असे मराठी नाव असतं तर काही कंदिलाच्या सारखे असे होतात आणि ceropegia attenuata is one which comes from Lateritic and so yeah groups are at least 10 species, various researcher. So discovery of species, not only plants, I'm telling about plant which are published by these two groups, as I said, Dr. Janardhanam and Dr. Reza. If you see work in herpetofauna, Nirbal Kulkarni is doing very good work with caecilians, frog species, dragonfly, bird, several new species.
And they have an interconnected relationship with the plants. Like if you talk about moth, so if that plant dies, the moth is also endangered because it's a whole life cycle in itself.
So this shows that and these were not like exclusive studies. It is general floristic studies. These places are neglected. There's no research. The picture is quite good in terms of, like, for example, mangrove, sand dune ecosystem, or wetlands. We have at least authorities are understanding. I'm not saying excellent. I'm saying okay, good situation. Authorities able to understand what it is. But for lateritic plateau, for me, whenever I went and tried to tell any authority, this is a lateritic plateau. It's the good ecosystem which requires conservation. It says high endemicity, and no one understands. Just consider barren land in the region. So, without much efforts, so many species have been discovered. So, it's a treasure trove of biodiversity, which is like not fully understood biodiversity. We get nodules of nostoc. Nostoc is a cyanobacterium. It's an amazing way the nature. This place is completely barren. And then you just get amazed how plants are green and flourishing and flowering. There are nitrogen fixing microorganisms there which help those plants to get the nutrient. See the creation of nature, where they don't have anything to feed on. There are association, as I said, there are association which make them to live there. And then today we are looking at biofertilizers for the future. So when we are destroying a plateau, we don't know what we are destroying. We are unless like it is documented. Without documenting, many things will be getting destroyed. So that's what I.
There are also insectivorous plants.
Insectivorous plants, yeah. Utricularia, takami, कोकणी कावळ्यांचे डोळे किंवा अशी त्याची आसवा असे म्हणतात blue color flowers. Actually, I should have brought a picture. A picture speaks more than 1 hour talk. But you all just type like vegetation. Today, good efforts are gone into Maharashtra. So, Caste Plateau is a reserve now. Caste Plateau is considered value of flowers of Western Ghats, where today government has recognized that it's a biodiversity hotspot region and a biodiversity rich region, and there are ways and means tried by government to protect it. There is a protection given to the Dipkadi Konkanens, which is there in Sawantwadi, Vaibhavwadi area. There are efforts to on Lateritic Plateau Reserve in neighboring Karnataka. But in Goa, okay, we are talking about such a rich ecosystem, but situation I feel is very bleak.
Because the awareness is very
Awareness is not there. Amongst the villagers are dependent, they know, but their voices doesn't reach government. And amongst the literate, how many of them they know all these plants? They have actually gone. If I speak to my colleagues myself, they are not able to understand what I speak unless they go and see. I urge each one of you to, even if you go now, you will find there are some plants like this Tadamkati Mutadami. There's this I just can't recollect the name by talking, but it blooms after the forest fires.
Oh.
It blooms. There will be a grass fire. Which is a very natural place. This ecosystem also comes under tropical grassland, which is savanna. So once in 3-4 years of fire running over this place is quite normal. And this vegetation, it survives as the tubers or rhizomes inside the crevices, and it sprouts up. The seeds are resistant to fire, so they will sprout up again. So this flower comes after the Tadamkati flower. It will come yellow color flowers, which will come only after forest flowers. Or the hot season when the plateau you cannot walk with the barren barefoot, you cannot walk. It is 50 degrees, but you will see those flowers. If you go and see them in this plateau in August, September, October, okay, you will never forget this place. This place is full of bloom. If you go in, there is a series of blooms coming. There will be some plants. See, all of them bloom together. They will not be pollinated because there are not so many bees to pollinate. So they have evolved to have these strategies. No, so there are some with rhizomes and tubers. They will store their last year's food inside the ground, and then the moment the first rain comes, or even before first rain comes, these gingivas or the tuberous crops, even habenaria, which is a orchid, which is having tubers, they will bloom first. The other grass is just sprouting green. This will have one leaf, and the dipkadi is one of them.
Yeah.
Dipkadi you will find during the end of July to August beginning. August 15, if you go, August 15 is I can get after my flag hosting, I can get a break. If I go, I can only collect seeds. I cannot get the plant. So they bloom and they finish first, and then there is a series of there are leguminous plants like Gizaspis, Indigofera, Crotalarias. These are nitrogen fixing plants, and they have advantage over here because this place is bearing less nutrition, and they fix nitrogen, so they have advantage to other plants. So there is a crop of these plants, Smithias, Cassia mimosoides is a small, other Cassias are big trees. Cassia mimosoides is a small plant. So all this will bloom in a second or third lot, another like group of plants, balsams and all those things. Last lot, if you go around September, October, till then the grass remains this much. It will be like a lawn, a carpet. But within September end till October, maybe September beginning to the September end or till dry season start, grass will suddenly grow to the feet height. You cannot see other plants over there. You can see, if you go that season, you can see only grass and the grass flowers, and there are tens of species of grasses identified which are endemic. I'm talking about endemic. The total number is much more. There are Glyphocoa, Henry, and all, which are described from Goa itself. And then they are maybe endemic. Ischema, Thamida is harvested for feeding to cattle. Many people, it grows almost a meter tall, and then it is. I can see today it is harvested for thatching also or feeding to cattle, and people are going in. So there is a succession of vegetation.
Also, they are very culturally very important spaces. Like if you go to Braganza Industrial Estate, there is a place called Nupur Tirtha. So it is worshipped there because it is the source of the the Sar River, which is a very important river in South Goa. Now it is considered one of the most polluted rivers, sadly. But if you go there, it's a very pristine place there. When only that area is conserved, and rest all you see industrial area there. Because of that, because of that belief, at least that area is protected. It is believed that it is goddess Mansa who worshipped the Dhangars used to worship her. So one fine day when they were going around, they couldn't get water. There was a scarcity of water. So the goddess just struck her feet, and with that striking, the water came out from these laterite stones. These are the amazing stories, like the Bhagwati Plateau of Kanpur, which Ashish stays. Below the Bhagwati Plateau he stays. So the Bhagwati Plateau has an amazing, beautiful temple. So here, tiger is worshipped. He is worshipped as a secondary deity there. There is even a cave. So people believe that the tiger's residence is there, and he is the like the Vahan, the vehicle of the goddess. There is even a lake there. So that whole area is protected because of all these local beliefs and traditions. But now, sadly, government is coming up with a film city project there. Hundreds of acres of land will be taken for that, and the government is projecting it as a green project. So, and we see that plateaus are so fragile ecosystem, very critical ecosystem, that even if you plant a tree there, it is not feasible. So, building something like as humongous as an airport or a film city, you can just imagine the disaster we are doing to our ecology, and we are not even realizing that we are doing that disaster. So, Miguel, how you look at this, like cultural spaces becoming concrete jungles?
Yeah, cultural spaces are going away. I remember Heta Pandit is here with us today. Way back we were trying to protect the temple at Gurpurajitara.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is we want to progress, we want to develop, we want to have a new structure, and you want us to stay with those old 3-room temple? No. So the concepts that they have in development is what we have in the cities, and we are preventing them from coming to our level. We want to go back. So how to create that awareness? At that point, we could not succeed because it was just the beginning. Goantic Action Group was small. But later on, about the built-up heritage, the way it would be focused, it would be protected, starting with Fontaniers and other festivals, how people could conserve. When we had a similar thing in Mops, also the Mopsa Fest, some houses which were abandoned were restored and people lived in.
Yeah.
One of those buildings which was going off is today the Mopsa Municipal Council, restored under the Golden Jubilee Fund of Liberation. Now, these were all exacted and going on, but through festivals, through events, through magnification. Now, unfortunately, most of the plants on the plateaus are small. Most people don't see them.
Yeah.
So, to bring it into their consciousness, they have to be blown up, they have to be enlarged. We have to have exhibitions, we have to have people to see them, to understand them. Fortunately for us, the next generation is more interested. I am sitting here today, but my son, who is a psychiatrist, knows more about this plateau plant than I do. My other son deals with tequila. He's been Desmond tea. He also knows more about the plateau small vegetation than I do. In the next generation, there is a lot of interest. Personally, I feel that our generation is the worst generation for nature. Our parents were good, our children are good. We weren't good. And we have to help them to protect because they have different ways. We have the Facebook people, they have gone onto Instagram, they get things more popular. You never heard of a viral thing in Facebook, but you hear it from Instagram going viral. They can reach more people. We have to involve them into creating the awareness. And awareness has to be by magnification. You cannot tell them facts. Ashish spoke about so many species of plants. I think in the audience, those who are not botany, it would have been lost. So, technical details, I find even when they talk about agriculture, they talk technically, it's lost. We have to find something that moves their emotion. And in the plateau areas surrounding, if you want to involve them, the plants will not involve them. The shortage of water will involve them. We have to find what affects them first then they get involved. So finding out those things, and like what they've done for Plateaus, they're doing now at Amboli, is getting the villagers involved in being guides to show this. So if there is economic return to them, then they involved in business. Someone will take you to a casino very easily because he knows he gets money out of it, or to a spice garden or something. He will take it because he's getting money out of it. So there has to be money. Today, anything to attract a person, either it has to be something that touches that person's emotions or economy. One of the two things. Actually ecology and economy are from the same word, ecos which means house. But now ecology is out. Now it's emotions or economics. It has to touch one of the two, either the heart or the pocket. Because ecology by itself doesn't inspire the general public, it may inspire a few people. So I think we have to look at this, and personally I would find that emotions are better to touch today. The politicians exploit it fully. A person who can go to jail and come out can move your emotions and become your MLA or your MP. Everything is forgotten because he has moved your emotions on whatever topic. So we need to find something that will touch the people emotionally and give at least a few people in the village some economic benefit from it. Ghats, everyone talks about. I used to go to there when going to Sulkana. There's only one small round board saying protected site.
Yeah.
You don't even know what protected site it is. Doesn't tell you Ghats, doesn't tell you petrol grids. There is no guide, there's nobody. So if there is something done there for a person to be involved, it's also for the various plateaus, whether you're looking at the TV in Kolwal plateau, you're looking at what little bit is left of Kortali, where the area, most of it is gone, industrial estate is almost gone. But what little bit here and there is left, if we can create a pocket and we can move the villagers there itself, every village has their biodiversity management committee, the BMC, whether we can move some of them to protect a small area. What would actually give a great boost to it is if we had like Bombay, the transfer of development rights, where if you have 1 square meter of area which goes for protection, whether you can sell that right to a builder to build somewhere else. So if the person is getting economic benefits there, he will not want to develop it immediately. May not last for many generations, but for one generation that commitment can come in. So we'll have to look at something that interests the people, that we feel about, that is our problem. For any person that is dead, we don't remember how good he was. Was he good to me? Did he give me a job? Or did he help me when I was in distress? Or death reminds us of that person. How good he was is his problem. He's dead, he's gone. That's not our issue. So if there is something for the villagers, then they'll be interested. You don't want film city and Bhagavad Plateau is great, fine, no problem. But I want the money. My land is there. So how do you get that person who's got land not to sell it? He must have some alternatives, and we have to find those alternatives. There is no utopia. We have to be practical on that and see how we can do.
But the thing is about plateaus in Goa, I think I don't think there is enough documentation, right? Do we know how many plateaus are in Goa?
We don't have those
No
documentation.
data.
But every village and every mountain top, the at least lower foothill has a plateau. Instead, in fact, there is one practical when we have to make a vegetation map. It's so difficult to make a vegetation map of Goa because each one is in pocket. There are small hillocks, and on the top there is a lateritic plateau. On the slope there will be semi-evergreen forest. At the foot there will be small evergreen if there is a stream, and then there will be a orchard plot, and there are mangroves. And all these are distributed in a mosaic in Goa. And that's what is a problem I feel because in other places like the mainland of India, like Plateaus, if you go to any city, other places, they use a single. This is the way construction should be happen in this place. There's a single scale for all the this. But we require a different scale for different. The sand dunes require different way of development. The coastal lands require different way of development. For example, we have a problem right in the here where we live. There is if we have sewage pits, they don't work because water level is at the ground level. It requires a different way of development. If we go same way of putting sewage pits and this thing, it will not work here. So each place has a different requirement of development which need to be understood. The orchards require different, paddy fields require different protection, kind of protection. It's not that development should not be. We need, everyone needs development. As Sir said, it is finally the economy which drives everything. But then we should understand, and one of the problems about lateritic plateau is it's not fully understood. And there is no awareness and there is no will from the politician. Because there is one more problem. There is our houses, if you see most of the villages, they are at the juncture between mountain and the flatlands where our orchard and paddy field. And we cannot build more because this the lower area is prone to waterlogging. There is Khajal land, there is CRZ and the river area. On the top, there is a lateritic plateau. In between, the gradient doesn't allow for construction. So the lateritic plateau is an easy place where people will try to build. But okay, that's how our development has gone all over. Okay, we cannot say we have been deriving the benefit of GMC, which is sitting on a lateritic plateau. Okay, or university where I studied from comes on the lateritic plateau. The big education institutes like WITS is sitting on a. So we cannot say what we will. We have to. It was a. But I feel like these institutions, or at least in future when we build such things, we should have a different norms. This land is quite strong, so we can maybe have multi-story. I'm not into construction, but we can have multi-story and keep the surrounding area as it is. We can have a different norm for this so that and we don't go for landscaping these places. Keep it as it is. Keep the water flow channels.
But is it like doing suppose Bhagwati Plateau, just keeping as it is as a conservation zone? And as Sir mentioned, and Sir mentioned having guided tour, showing people what it is, why it is, what is the temple, what is the vegetation there. Maybe some sort of we look at that place itself is a profitable venture, rather than bringing some film city there and making them, assuming that is a profitable venture.
Yeah, in fact, I will suggest at least one in south, biodiversity zone, this reserve kind of area, which is near Kotigaon or Nedravali, which will connect it to them. Actually, Ministry of Environment provides for that. If it is the area biodiversity rich and it is connecting for century, century should be protected. Or in north also maybe, so that we can protect. But if not that possible, at least while planning for a development, we should be aware of the ecosystem where we are building. See, if you just go Maharashtra, they are spending crores, thousands of crores to develop Panelist Kshetra, what they will this is watershed management. Okay, there are big movements to make people aware and develop. These are the natural watershed provided by nature to us. As Sir said, our orchards down there are surviving because water percolates them. We destroy that habitat, tomorrow we say that we need water and then we develop another we spend more money to them. And then we are losing the biodiversity, undocumented biodiversity. If you see, you need waterfalls at particular area, we have 250, 300, 350 centimeter at one place. How much water it will be collected for this much area? And it has to drain down this mountain. If you block the paths of the water by constructing today's development, okay, we had somewhere I heard this thing, our consultants are full, so we could not, I'm not naming which where, but this project is delayed because our consultants are full. We appoint some consultant who doesn't know what is sand dune, what is mangrove, what is our habitats, what is lateritic plateau. And then they sit there and send us a design and we construct. This will not happen. This is what which is destroying growth. which is to be understood that these are the unique habitats which need to require unique planning. Okay, and then fairly good understanding.
Should be well studied
Yeah,
before-
as I said, fairly good understanding is there in authorities. Okay, so our track record is not so bad in Goa. Okay, where sand dunes comparatively well protected, but still there are some. Okay, in Miramar I can see there are a lot of encroachments and all those things. There are some encroachments, but mangroves, thanks to work of NIO, Mangrove Society of India. Okay, the message is gone, and then the planning level or mangrove maybe tsunami reached our. When the tsunami came, people understood the importance of mangrove. So something happens, then we understand. Then we are now have in the system how to protect this. But for lateritic plateau, this thing is we don't have any measure or any recognition for this unique habitat, which researchers have already shown. The public even or even politicians or even authorities are reluctant to take the message which researchers are giving. So that should be something which go into my field.
Okay, so there is a lot of food for thought. So I will stop my discussion here and give all of you the chance to raise questions, doubts, thoughts. Yes, sir.
Some medicinal plants also grow on this. My memory. There is one plant, Paripat.
Yeah, Paripat generally grows in paddy fields, not much in the lateritic.
We used to collect it from
Yeah. If there is a soil waterlogged place, there Paripat will grow.
Paripat. Nowadays, even Hindu pharmacy, if you ask, they say no Paripat. That was the only medicine available in that time.
Paripat you can get good in Mapsa market, but Panchi market also sometimes I can see it.
So, my question is, why these plants, these medicinal plants or whatever is growing around plateaus cannot be grown in our normal yeah. And
See,
also,
domestication of the plant, we are not able to domesticate many of the plant because they require unique habitat, unique conditions which we are not evaluated. If we put in effort and try to understand, see, all the garden plant cannot grow in the same habitat, right? They require different. Some require some partial shade, some require shade, some require fully sunny place. So,
Miguel spoke about that aranya.
yeah.
I tried. I brought aranya and grew it in my garden. I cleared it lots of days there. But once I thought, then here it grew. But next time, no. I did it.
Maybe you put somewhere in barren place. So there are a lot of other Hollerina antidysentrica, which we call Kudo, Aristolochia indica, which is a very good medicinal plant. There are hundreds of different medicinal plants also recorded from Lateritic Plateau.
I think many are cure for cancer also, if I am not mistaken.
Nothopoditis or Morinda pubescens. Morinda citrifolia is known as noni. Morinda pubescens is another which is also used for medicinal plant, which is found on Lateritic Plateau.
Two medicinal plants were very popular in Goa earlier. Irate and Paripat. Irate.
Irate is domesticated, it grows near the houses.
It grows.
Anybody else?
Actually, our higher level college is doing good to propagate these plants, the medicinal plants. And they even give it to anybody who would like. I happen to have worked in an Ayurveda place, and there we had grown a sort of medicinal plant, more of for the people to see what ashwagandha and the whole variety, whatever was growing there. They gave us the plants and we did. So they are doing a little bit of propagation for this, but of course we need it on a larger scale.
But the plateau ones are very
Yes,
specific
yeah.
because their microhabitat is quite different from the
Yes.
domestic areas.
Yes,
So that's
true.
a challenge.
I mean, on the Bar Island, it was done. There they are quite a few places which are not touched yet. Quite a lot of it is not farmed. So there, I think one could still find there's a Vashi Island from Divad at the back of the that. There also there are quite a few places.
But Vashi is sold.
Sorry?
Vashi is sold.
I know. There are so many people out to buy from Devaya. They used to go to
Okay.
Vashi Island, so we knew what was happening there. So that was quite.
Any question about Plateaus?
Yes.
Yeah. Just stand and ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question which is related to, when you just made that point that island was sold, about public access to the plateaus, because we can do all this work to try and save the plateaus, but if you don't have access to them, have we got any legal rights to argue that, for millennia people have been on these plateaus to forage or whatever, that they should be allowed to go there?
I think most of the land is taken under Comunidad, right?
Sometimes it is.
Right now the access is there, but it's not legal right. Legal right will have to be created.
So we have to campaign for that, for a legal right of access.
So legal rights will have to be created with the comunidad taken into confidence and do that. Because now most comunidades also want to sell their land to developers. So you have to.
They give an excuse of encroachment. So they say it is being encroached, that's why they sell off the land. Basically, it's a village commons land.
Yeah.
It is Comunidad.
Basically, that connect has gone. People used to go for gold. The younger community used to live on this plateau. Even the villagers who were down used to take the cattle every day to the plateau, and then
Even
they had
farming
connect.
was done on the
Yeah,
plateaus.
plateau. But now they have lost the connect. Okay, they are not bothered about this plateau because they are not anymore using it.
So the livelihoods are also gone of grazing and the hangars, and even the Kamti Sheti, local form of seasonal farming was happening there. That is also stopped. So the connect of the people with the plateaus is dwindling, and that's why we see encroachments and people coming up with these projects.
I don't know if there's a possibility to have a comparative study of MOPA and the plateau in Cancun, Bhagwati Plateau, and open it up right now for people to visit maybe August, September, to create that awareness what is there. Because most people even from Cancun would not have gone to Bhagwati Plateau. And if they have gone now in the dry season for rituals or something. During that time of August, September, whether we can organize this coming August, September, so people see that. And also they go to MOPA and see what's happened there. So compared to that,
Or our mining area.
or it will bring to their mind what it
Mine
is there.
area. The people living below are today asking restore our paddy fields because of the sand, soil getting washed from the top of the mountain.
Not a question as such. My name is Anirudh. You were speaking about going to Zimbabwe and the plants over there. So while going to Zimbabwe, if I can remember, towards the left, there's one single tree of baobab, which is I think endemic.
That's outside the police station.
Yeah. How come meaning there's just one tree? I have not seen it anywhere else.
There are 6 trees in Goa. There's one at bamboo motels across in Delhi.
There's one outside Rajkot.
Rajkot has broken. There are 2 in Ribanda and 2 in Villa and 1 at Moji. Now we have, because we discounted there are only 6 of them, we have taken the seeds from them, we have soaked them, we have germinated, and now there may be around 50-60 more plants, including one in where the pottery exhibition is going on. Francis Louis Comics Garden, there is one baobab tree planted 3 years back.
There is a nice story this way. This tree is found in savannas of Africa, and then the people used to travel on boats earlier during when this is the initial days when trade and all, and then the fruits used to they used to perish, and they had to travel for a month to reach from from vitamin C deficiency, scabies, and many people used to die. So these fruits of this scurvy, not scabies, scurvy, yeah. The pulp of this fruit is rich, vitamin rich. So they brought these trees and planted here so that they can get a supply of this. So there are a lot of this tree looks beautiful.
Any more questions? Yeah.
What I wanted to ask was how much does lantana and goat meat encroach into the plateaus, or is it a kind of pushback where now endemic species have been pushed back, or am I wrong? Summarizing that.
Yes. So thank you for raising this point. Our discussion, this point was not been discussed. Is habitat modification or habitat destruction is another challenge for our ecosystems today. We are just talking about protecting, but even after it protected, if we don't consider the micro niches of those ecosystems, if you like for example the waste is dumped on this thing, some other plants will grow. So these plants, like for example lantana, eupatorium, they come only when the habitat is destroyed. In the pristine habitat, they don't have that much. And lantana comes at some level, but eupatorium will not end. But once we make inroads, we dig up, we cut the native plant, then these plants will start coming. So ecologists will suggest to maintain the ecosystem untouched or with very least modification. With the amount of destruction or this thing, we can only see even the protected places. We can see only Histoabundance, Eupatorium, lantana, those kind of vegetation. If I go to Miramar beach, half of the beach I cannot see any sand dune plants. But then these plants are not original of that place. They will not, as I said in Lateritic Plateau, there will be forest fire, which is a challenge. They will not be tolerating them, and the plateau will be barren once the forest fire will come, and then again this thing. If you go to Miramar, as I said, cannot see laterite, and we can have another discussion on sand dunes. But if salt water intrudes, then these invasive plants are not going to remain, and then the protection to the soil will not remain. Okay, so the habitat destruction, though we see more biodiversity is always not good. We have eutrophied lakes where we can see all green, all green, but all green is not good. Somebody was telling me, in fact, our cities have more biodiversity than the forest. But the biodiversity here is not adapted to that ecosystem. That is human created. We are protecting. A garden is nurtured by us, so it is remaining a garden. But if you stop nurturing, it will become a natural vegetation, and then it will not become the natural vegetation which was there before. Once the ecology is disturbed, it is disturbed forever. It is like a broken egg. We cannot put it together. So these habitats are fragile. What I want to say.
And lantana not normally there on the plateau area.
Yeah, one question. There was a lot of construction is happening in areas like the plateaus, like mobile included. But a lot of these bylaws that are formed are by the town and country planning department. Maybe is there a policy that's to guide them on what is allowed and what is not to be allowed? Like when a construction license comes to the TCP's office on a gradient which is not allowed, they have a ground of objecting and rejecting. And also if it's next to we have an environment impact assessment that's all projects have to go through. So something like that to protect the plateaus, because as an architect or even from the planning department, unless there is a guiding policy or there's an awareness, they don't even know. There's such a richness which you touched on, which is affecting your watershed management for all the communities below. Unless the planning people know about it, they have no legal grounds to reject it. So is there a department of policy making, decisions, who's drawing up all these things,
so that even though they are technical, they need to be guided.
Can I add to this question?
Yeah.
I just want to add to this question. The question was,
Can you please stand up?
yeah, is there in the decision making process when you are sort of clearing projects, can one assume that there is nobody doing an economic analysis of the loss in ecology that a particular project will entail? Can one, I mean, from your discussion, it seems like that to me.
I've basically spent 18 years with the WWF-India. We worked on the regional plan 2021. There's only one guiding policy that town and country planning department, and it's the size of your briefcase.
Yeah.
Nothing else works. I'm telling you, very frankly, nothing else works. So if you can create all kinds of laws, we created the regional plan 2021, which gives you what is eco-sensitive, what is no development, what is still. All those things go in the dustbin the moment the briefcase comes.
Yeah.
So for what are we making the laws? Now we have to create a force to block them. They are not going to change. We tried a lot to change the town and country planning act 1974 to bring in good things, but you have 16A, 16B, 17A, 17B, 17C, 39A. What they want, they will do. So it goes back to politics, and we can't change that because it's a different ball game altogether. But we can change people's perceptions and get certain things stopped. We can draft the best laws. You can have the regional plan 2021, and you can have a PDA form next to you. You can have one survey number becoming special C1 zone. It's there close by here with special C1 there. You are building commercial. There is not a single shop, not even a barber, not even a pawn shop in there. The whole building is commercial one. Justified that they want a bank, they want a supermarket and everything, but not a single commercial thing is there. Except I always say, unless there are commercial sex workers there. All are residential, 100% residential building, and it's close by here, not far away. So we have to be able to change our thinking at the local levels and then be able to move. Those laws, regulations, they don't change anything. These days they're discussing about sheds. Permission is to operate this level. The sound can maximum be at 10 o'clock and their bar license is till 1 o'clock. If the shack has to close at 11, well, the bar license is till 1. Should they sell from closed doors? These laws, they all have to dovetail and work together. And unless we can create that force, and that force will have to be backed by economics. It can't be backed by emotions. Here only economics works.
So you have a question.
I'd like to add, there is no this thing law as such like protecting this lateritic. I said this is the lateritic plateaus were quite abundant like some 20-30 years back in Goa. It was not some friendly habitat, and these findings also were not there of high endemicity. This is some findings of last 30 years of research probably. So now there is a demand from the researchers that these require. But this is the one habitat where it is not completely hurt. If a common person want to protect and then want to go say, tell this is a lateritic plateau requires study, then there are no laws to protect only based on some endemic plants or endemic birds. They can this thing. Yes, sir.
Thank you. We can take more questions. Yeah, sir, the last question.
No, mine is not precisely calculation of law. I was in a High Court appointed committee to identify the private forest of Goa. When I went as a botanist, I identified a particular area. And High Court had told that you must give two land surveyors to each committee. One was South Goa, one was North Goa. They are supposed to give two surveyors. Now, when I surveyed this, the people except me, they are all government servants in that committee. I was only a academician. When I surveyed this, sir, their survey number is different, our survey number is different. So I went, I started my technical college teaching, I should go there in the deep forest and identify the forest. With all laws, with all the, till today the forest survey is not over. After my tenure. Of course, I resigned after 1 year, knowing that it is useless to sacrifice my teaching. I resigned after that. Another 2 committees till today, the forest survey is not over. This was High Court as you take it to law. Law also tells, and when you wrote to the land settlement department to send the surveyors, they told we are running short of surveyors, we cannot send. And once we were in a forest, villagers gathered us. We told police protection, no police protection. So who will work on it? Under law, and I resigned.
Same thing with at central level with Madhav Gadkil committee report, Kasturi Rangan's committee report, and so many committee reports. But unless people want and people realize that it is to benefit to us.
So just one final question. Now we will have many more questions, but you can talk to the panelists after. One final. No, we are running short of time. Speak. What I'm saying, we should not do both.
Yes.
We should not do
No, no. Everybody is fighting single. He's fighting, I'm fighting, he's fighting. Single. Together we should fight. And bring the strongest legislation. Strongest. So that these people are, this whatever, I don't want to put the word, should stop.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
From this, the message goes to the people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Put it on the.
Thank you very much. So, Miramar Dialogue is supported by our radio partner 92.7 Big FM, and we have Arti and Namrita with us who will take a few questions from the public.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity to be part of Miramar Dialogue. We were looking forward to something that will bring change, because Big FM always says and I think this is a dialogue that will definitely shape the course of a lot of thought processes that we have. So we do interview. I spoke to a doctor yesterday, and we had so many things that were so insightful, and we heard it for the first time. Though being in the field, not many times we don't know what are the nuances. I think one of the main reasons that we are not aware of the plateaus is like never in our schools we have heard about the plateaus or any information about the plants, flowers we have been taught. So some of the questions that I have from my listeners, so I just wrote it down so I shouldn't miss out. Akshay Kulekar from Polaroid said, what is the interdependency of these flowers on other species? Dr. Question.
Thank you, Akshay. So, as Sir said, the plants are unique in that they are married. It's kind of insight I got today from Sir. Okay, that they have fully associated with that and integrated, and then there are each organism has a role to create an ecosystem for other organisms. So, if one is not, there is a chain wherein everyone is linked, and then if one is not there, then other is getting affected. There are some we know in forest, but for Lateritic plateau, we don't know what are different kind of the creatures or microorganisms. Which everything is interlinked, and then they create ecosystem. Together they create an ecosystem called Lateritic plateaus.
Yesterday we spoke, Dr. and you said like every plateau has its own habitats, and it won't imitate on the other one. So I think we really need to know to preserve everything first.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so education is
already a lot of research is already there, and then wherein they have identified various species. There are puddles. There are certain species which comes in the puddle, certain species which comes, and there is a cycle of dry and wet on this. Right, and there will be rain for certain season, in rainy season also, dry season. So it creates unique mosaic vegetation even in the.
Great. So I will ask you the second question. So this is from Anil Naik. We see Khas Pathar, which is in Maharashtra, that has less flowers compared to before. So one question that came from Anil Naik, who stays in Asmara, he says, what is the reason for being less flower? And we want to see there's a lot of cattle grazing that happened on the plateaus. People have blocked their area so that people should see the area. So how we link this?
Yeah, thus maybe less of biodiversity, but more of one plant, so you can see that impact. The whole thing turns purple,
right.
Or the whole thing's
strawberry.
strawberry. So So different colors are taken, in fact, and there's a promotion of that. For a man from Astara, close by to him is a TV Kolal plateau. Very close by.
We need to popularize it.
Yeah. When we go over there very often, but I don't think people from Astara go there.
Right.
You need to go and see, especially from mid-August till end September. It's really very beautiful. Only along the Lateritic canal you'll find disturbance, but otherwise it's still very beautiful to see.
Okay.
And grazing is normal here. Every vegetation requires some grazing. In fact, researchers are telling this authority that allow in caste plateau they have barricaded and fenced and grazing is being stopped there. That is also grazing is normal. Grazing will cattle will eat and then again, but limited, not overgrazing. Limited grazing will the cattle dung will nourish the plant again. So grazing, this is one of the reasons this our now cattle doesn't go to this place.
They go to the dustbins.
Yeah. Earlier, there used to be a video or rabbits doing the
Job.
yeah.
Right.
So it's important to maintain that ecosystem.
Okay, so this question can go to both of you. So, what is an initiative that an individual or an organization take to bring this change so that future destruction of the pets don't happen?
I would give one example. My son takes various people to Sirigaon to show them Lancha. He met the local punch and asked, why don't your school students come? And 10 of the students came, who, although they are from that village, they did not know about these plants. So, if you can create this initiative of taking the school students from that area to see what wealth they have, they should know. Then they will tell the whole world their village. That would be a good thing.
I think that's really great. I think awareness is something that we look forward to, and with WWF and partnering with Moderator, hopefully we'll achieve this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this we end this session and thanks for attendance.
Yeah, and I have still a few things to say. We are not ending so thank you very much. I thank the panel, and we have some WWF local teams here, so I'd like to present them to the panel. First to Braganza. And Ashish. Excuse me. It was a wonderful panel, and I thank the panel and also thank you for being here today and listening to us patiently. It was a pleasure to have all these experts, and you might have heard Ashish how it's like every 2 sentences he says, like he speaks about some scientific name of a species or something. So it's like he's like a dictionary, and because we have been together for 20 years now. So we studied in Shri College together. And so he used to be the encyclopedia of plants. So whenever we go in the forest with him, so I used to joke and tell people, so if he can't identify a plant, I'll give you 100 rupees. So it used to be like that. And there were very nice questions and a lot of questions on policy and governance. But I think this should have been asked last week when Norma was here. So she answered a lot of questions very patiently. And she also gave a roadmap on how conservationists should not feel that they do not have any power, how they should go ahead and what they could do to protect the environment. It was quite insightful. Yes, it was last week. But we'll keep on bringing you more sessions as this. Next week we are going to talk about the menace of plastics. Is it too late that the plastics have now taken over everything we know and around everywhere in the nature? Or is there still some hope? So we are going to talk to a couple of experts who are working in the field, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.